welcome to clipping in. A slightly different start this time. Unfortunately, there's been a bit of a problem with the GoPro. I don't know if it's the record button that's misfiring or whatever, but the introductory piece, a couple of very nice panning landscapes, and then the final piece that I usually do with the summing up and the farewells and the goodbyes, all those are missing. Can't find them on the SD card anywhere. So I thought what I'd do instead, just the rest of the footage looks pretty good. There's some nice views. Lots of it's a ride around 40 miles in and around the hills of Calderdale, taking in balcony tracks, as I call them. The weather wasn't too bad, so I thought the footage, I don't really want to delete it just because the head and tail are missing. So I'm starting it like this, put you in the picture, and now really I'll hand over to him. Just ticking along the main valley road from Mythenroyd towards London Foot, and then things pick up. Morning. Hi, hi. Gaining height to the second balcony. Lots of the older villages in Calderdale, they date to the Middle Ages, and they're on this shelf around about 1,000 feet maybe, and that's from the time when the valley bottoms were forested, swampy, and you'd only pass them at places where there was a bridge like Hebden Bridge, Soby Bridge, and all the pack horse routes and all the inhabited places really were up on the edge of the moor on these balcony tracks. Great sense now of a balcony road with the Mythenroyd down below, and we're on this middle way. I often refer to these as balconies, I think, because in Chamonix in the French Alps there are some great trails, the Grand Balcon, the Petit Balcon, and they sit again halfway between the inhabited Chamonix Valley and the splendour of the Aiguille Rouge on one side and the Mont Blanc Massif on the other. And yeah, there's some fantastic trail running and walking on those balcony routes. Amazing, and I like to think of this as being a kind of very accessible local equivalent. I mean, I'm a proud Yorkshireman, but even I won't claim that Studley Pike matches up to Mont Blanc, but I can get out here in less than an hour. Not bad at all. Just take a minute here to look at the view and point a few things out. You can see Emley Moor in the distance. That's the continuation there, which was Mythenroyd, and then there was London Foot where I climbed to gain access to the balcony, and then further down the valley will be Soby Bridge, and then Halifax is hidden. You can see a white car there on the balcony just snaking its way around, and then as I pan you're looking across to a hill that's Cragvale is the valley there in the centre, and that hill's dividing the Ripponden Valley from Cragvale. Keeping panning, you can just see the pylons on top of Blackstone Edge, which I've visited on other clipping in rides. Then good old Studley Pike, the sentinel of Calderdale, dating from just after the Crimean War. And then looking up Calderdale, more of the wind farms. Hebden Bridge would be roughly there, and then the valley curves round towards Todmorden. Marvellous stuff. A real sense of a balcony route. Old Town, Hebden Bridge down in the valley. So my balcony route came in at Peckett Well, and I'm now into the headwind heading to Oxenhope on the A something or other. Interestingly, I'm just approaching what's Haworth Old Road, which you can maybe see up there just past the bus stop. That one goes more directly over towards Stanbury direction, and it's ye olde pack horse route, but it's only tarmac for about a mile and a half. After which point you need a mountain bike. So that's one for another ride. Quite chilly now as I climb over towards Cockhill. Raining, northwest wind, not very July-like. Thankfully it was only a passing shower. It's still cold, still breezy, but at least that rain stopped and the roads have absorbed it pretty quickly. Smashing view now as just before I start the descent to Oxenhope. Yorkshire Dales over there, superb. I could look at this for ages, look at that. Ho ho! And then heading, you can see the sort of little bit of Keighley. Oh my goodness. Right, both hands on bars time. Coming through Oxenhope, about to start the first part of the dog and gun climb. Quite a steepie. That's the climb up to the Lamb Inn. It's always a steep thing. I remember once getting in the old days of 42 23s, getting out of the saddle and then your back wheel spins. Goodness me. Especially at winter when it's got that little bit of sliminess on the surface. I think this ride is going to be somewhere in the low 40s in terms of mileage. Quite a lot of climbing though, I'll be interested to see the numbers there. But it's owned really, since I went out with Neil and posted the last video, I've only done one decent ride since then, and it's nearly 2 weeks. So I'm really enjoying this one. Feels, even though it's only a short ride, really picked me up. It's been a real tonic, and it feels like I've done something and I've been somewhere.